Thanks for tuning in to Skylands Weekly. I'm your host, Melissa Estock on Channel 10. This week we visit Sussex County Community College, the Lafayette House, and the Sussex County Fairgrounds. But first, this week's top stories in Sparta. Million-dollar homes have been a target in Sparta recently, experiencing high-end burglaries, stealing anything they can stuff in a pillowcase. Sergeant Beebe from the Sparta Township Police Department has the latest update on this story.
Sparta Township has been experiencing a string of high-end burglaries. When I say high-end burglaries, I'm talking affluent homes, $750,000 and up. It's not just Sparta, it's other towns across northern New Jersey, several other jurisdictions that we're aware of. These burglaries are what we believe are being perpetrated by a very aggressive, very professional ring. And what they do is they target a home in a particular neighborhood. They'll come up, they'll cut the phone lines from the house to the pole. The phone lines will disable the alarm system. They'll force their way through an exterior door. It could be the front door, it could be the back door. Kick it, use a shoulder. They'll get inside. They'll tear the actual alarm system off the mounting so it doesn't activate a secondary system. They'll move to the house. They'll ransack the house. They're looking for jewelry. They're looking for cash. They're looking for anything they can put in a pillowcase. These burglaries pose a significant risk because on March 24th, that was Thursday night, we did the press conference on Friday. March 24th, a home on Antler Ridge was broken into, phone lines cut, front door forced. The people are in the house burglarizing it, and there was somebody home. They were sleeping.
Luckily, the 27-year-old was able to contact the police with her cell phone and was unharmed by her unexpected house guest.
But the fact that they would come into a home and there's somebody there, now I'm not saying that that was their intention, but I don't know their intention because we haven't caught them and talked to them yet. But the fact is that when you confront the homeowner or a homeowner confronts an intruder, only bad things can happen. So our primary responsibility as a police department is public safety. We want to ensure the public that we're doing everything we can to catch these people. We want to give them tips. We want to let them know that the situation exists and things that they can do to keep them safe.
Knowing your neighborhood and reporting suspicious cars and people will help keep your community safe.
The biggest security tip that you can have is a resident knows who belongs in their community, knows who belongs on their street. I've gotten calls, we all have gotten calls so many times from residents that say 3 or 4 days after the fact, yeah, I did see something there, or I saw something that was suspicious. You call us right away, call 911. If something doesn't look right, it probably isn't right. I mean, we'll get up there, we'll check it. If it's okay, it's okay. But that's our job, that's what we get paid to do. Tell us immediately if you see something. The community should be vigilant to what's going on. Make sure if you have a security system in your home, an alarm system, when you go to bed at night, make sure you activate that alarm system. Just because you're home, don't think that somebody might not make an attempt to come in. Make sure your cell phone's close by. Make sure you leave a light on in your foyer. Make sure there's always a light left on in your house, whether you use a timer or whatever. Make sure if you're going away for an extended period of time that you tell a neighbor or you tell the police department, say, you know, nobody's allowed to be at my home or in my driveway. And as we go through our sectors patrolling, we have hot sheets at homes that we look at that we know aren't occupied. So if we see a vehicle in the driveway, we're going to check it out. You know, a lot of it is just common sense stuff.
Sparta does not have a high crime rate despite these recent burglaries.
We don't have that high crime rate, and there's a reason for that. You know, we're very proactive here. We work very well to community. Our Sparta Township is very vigilant to our residents. They know what's up, and for the most part, they let us know. And we just want to give them a little reminder that we have another situation in town. We want to get to the bottom of it very quickly, and we're looking for their assistance. This department has always been known as a very proactive department. That's what we're about. We don't want to have to be reacting to things when they happen. We want to get out in front of it and know when some of these things are occurring. There's a statistic that every police department in the state will tell you that's never shown, and that's crimes not committed because of some of the actions that we take beforehand, some of the information that we're able to obtain. You know, it's great to look at a police blotter or look at a UCR statistics sheet and say, hey, there's nothing going on here. Well, there's a reason for that. It's not that people are afraid to come in here. It's that we know certain things and we react to them and we're proactive and we stop a lot of this before it happens.
Sergeant Beebe stands behind his detective bureau and believes they will put a closing to these recent break-ins.
These guys that are working this area right now, it's a dangerous situation right now, but we're on top of it, and I fully expect for an arrest to be made at some point.
Another top story for Sparta was an attempted rape at the Sparta Theater Plaza by Panera Bread. Statements have been filed and a suspect has been charged. Sergeant Beebe also has an update on this story. Take a look.
Friday night at approximately 6 o'clock, the department received multiple 911 calls. The calls were a rape in progress. That was the call at the Panera Bread up in our theater center. Patrols got on scene. In less than a minute of the call, they were in the area, fortunately. And what had happened, the investigation has shown, is that a 16-year-old male from Hackettstown entered Panera Bread, met a 15-year-old girl. They did not know each other prior. Eyewitness accounts say they talked briefly. He then attacked her. He bit her on the cheek, bit her on the neck, threw her on the floor, and dropped his pants and his underwear. He was exposed from the waist down, and he attempted to get on top of her.
The suspect was wrestled to the ground by 3 bystanders who were horrified to witness this event.
The girl was pulled out of the way by some other bystanders. The police arrived on scene. They attempted to place him under arrest. He resisted. He was forcibly taken under control and brought down to the station. At the station, officers determined he was under the influence. He was kept here briefly. Then he was transported to Newton Memorial Hospital for treatment and for observation. The victim was also here briefly and then also was transported to Newton Memorial Hospital for treatment. They were both treated and released that night.
The 16-year-old boy was charged with juvenile delinquent complaints.
If charged as an adult, he'd be facing a third-degree criminal sexual contact, a disorderly person's offense for lewdness, and a disorderly person's offense for assault. This situation is still very fluid. We're still getting a lot of information from a lot of witnesses. The type of narcotics that he was under the influence, we're not going to release at this point because we're still in the middle of the investigation. We don't want to put that out there yet because we think that may hinder us to some extent because that's a whole other issue. But anybody who was there and witnessed it or knows something about this and haven't been contacted by the police yet, we urge you to contact Detective Mulligan at 973-729-3017.
Coming up, Sussex County Community College's new president, and later, Springfest Flower and Garden Show. Stay tuned during this commercial break.